Welcome to Transform Today, a place where we can have an open and honest conversation. Today is November 9th, 2020, and it's been quite a while since we were together in this video series called Transform Today. And today, being November the 9th, as I mentioned, is getting closer to November the 11th here in Canada. A very important day in our annual year, November 11th, called Remembrance Day. And that's what I want to focus on here for the next few minutes, is on Remembrance Day. Being that this is a whole different year than we probably all experienced in our lifetime. There are a lot of places, at least in the Edmonton region and area, that are not having Remembrance Day services as they used to have Remembrance Day services. Some places are not even having any, or doing the virtual stuff. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Remembrance Day and why we remember. And the way I want to approach that today is very personal to me. I'm not sure if I ever mentioned this in any of the videos that I've shared so far in Transform Today, but I am a reserve chaplain, military chaplain. I'm the regimental chaplain of the Loyal Edmonton Regiment in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now, I'm not here in that official capacity, but you may have noticed this flag behind me over my left shoulder. It's not in its full display because I don't have a flagpole to display it on or a way to display it bigger than this. This is the Loyal Edmonton Regiment camp flag. It has our hat badge really in the center. One person I hope doesn't see this particular video is our Regimental Sergeant Major, because it's not displayed properly. But the point of this flag is whenever the regiment leaves home station, in other words the garrison, and goes and plants itself somewhere else outside of home station, the camp flag goes up to recognize this is the location now of the Loyal Edmonton Regiment somewhere in the world. And I'm going to keep it personal that way. I want to talk about the Loyal Edmonton Regiment, a little bit about the history, a little bit about the cost to the regiment and those who pay the ultimate sacrifice. But primarily just a quick sort of overview of the beginning and where we are today. I will include in the description section of this video 3 websites you can go to that would be very helpful for you to understand the Loyal Edmonton Regiment, 3 or 4 of them. So check that out for yourself. I'd be interested in your comments. And please, share this video, not because of me, but because of the importance of Remembrance Day. So a little bit of the history. Really the beginnings of the Loyal Edmonton Regiment go as far back as April 1908, when the 101st Regiment was stood up in this area. And then they ended up serving overseas when they were formally changed to the 49th Battalion in January 1915, and by one Lieutenant Colonel Garisbaugh. He would be known in Edmonton city history as the mayor, and probably I think the youngest mayor in history of Edmonton. So 49th Battalion was stood up after the 101st on January 1915. They landed in France early October 1915, where they would stay for 3 years till 1918 and fight in France and in Flanders. Out of that First World War, 2 of its soldiers won the Victoria Cross, the highest award that one could possibly have as a soldier. Then early 1916, in the 49th Battalion, during the First World War, they added to its name, they added the name Edmonton Regiment. Post-World War I, the Canadian Armed Forces, or the military in Canada, were under reorganization, and the Edmonton Regiment would be reorganized into 2 active battalions and 3 reserve battalions. Now, the Edmonton Regiment would go through a number of other variations and reorganizations prior to World War II, the outbreak of World War II. And of course, World War II came, and the Edmonton Regiment was sent overseas. In July 1943, the unit was renamed the Loyal Edmonton Regiment. And the Loyal Edmonton Regiment would see many battles in 1943-44 as they participated in the invasion of Sicily and then moving across into Italy. And the Loyal Edmonton Regiment was really instrumental in one of the most well-known conflict or battles in Italy, and that would have been the Battle for Ortona, a deadly house-to-house fight. In 1945, the Eddies moved to Northwest Europe until the end of the war. The Loyal Eddies would also see service in the UN and NATO missions such as Korea, Cyprus, Croatia, Bosnia, and the Sudan over the years. And not to mention also the Eddies were involved, the Loyal Eddies were involved in the Afghanistan War, which is basically Canada's longest war that they were ever involved in. I just want to just really reflect here now, or just really share with you the cost just to the Loyal Edmonton Regiment and the citizens of Edmonton and area. In World War I, there was 977 killed or missing and 2,282 wounded. In World War II, there's 391 Loyal Eddies killed. And during the Afghanistan War, there was 3 of our soldiers that were killed while serving overseas in Afghanistan. And I want to mention their name. I think that's important that we remember their names. The first soldier killed from the Loyal Edmonton Regiment in Afghanistan was Master Corporal Raymond Arndt, 5th of August 2006. Then Corporal Zach McCormick, 30th December 2009. And Corporal Joshua Baker, 12th of February 2010. Now, I had the privilege, and really for me, a great blessing to go over with the unit, with serving members, family, and friends last year, 2019, for a battlefield tour of the Sicily and Italian campaign. And for those of us who went over for the whole shebang, if that's the way to put it, we went over and we started in Sicily and we made our way through some of the important critical battles in Sicily, and then we went over to the mainland, so to speak, the boot, and we made our way through, and we even went to all those places that I mentioned, for example, Ortona. And then we ended up, of course, at the end of it, coming back home to Canada. I just want to tell you that one of the most memorable parts of that battlefield tour in 2019 was when we went to the very first Commonwealth Cemetery, or war cemetery that is being kept for the soldiers that were killed, Canadian soldiers and Commonwealth members in the battle for Sicily. And walking into that memorial with all the gravestones, all the headstones, and seeing the ages everywhere from as young as 17 up to even older, obviously older than that, in their 50s. But it was really, really profound for me to see the number of Loyal Edmonton Regiment soldiers that paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we have today. And really, this is only my personal opinion, but I think it's something that is really troublesome in our Western culture, in particular in North America, where we have people wanting to erase history. My friends, we cannot do that for a lot of different reasons besides political reasons and all these other things that they're talking about. We cannot do it simply because these soldiers, these men and women that sacrifice with their very lives, it would be in vain. And I don't want that to ever see in my lifetime. And I hope it never happens, ever, ever. I think of also of all the families that endured the loss of their, and actually had, young members of their family that died and killed in battle. And think of all the ones that have been wounded, and I think of the Afghanistan war and all those today who are wearing the scars of that war on the inside with PTSD and many other issues like that. Friends, we cannot forget Remembrance Day. Remembrance Day is too important to the history of this nation and its future. that we would set it aside as just another holiday. This is not another holiday. This is a day of remembrance. And I would encourage you, if you can't go somewhere, if you can't be out there in the public, and that's understandable in these days, take a moment at 11 o'clock on Wednesday to stop whatever you're doing and take a couple of minutes of silence in honor of those who paid the ultimate sacrifice so that you could actually do the things that you do in this country today. So I thank you very much for joining me. I wish you all the best. And, you know, I would wish you a very, very Merry Christmas in case I don't make another video now until January of 2021. Bye-bye.